Clegg. Great, thank you. Congratulations, though. This is great news. Even though you're kind of struggling right now, this is fantastic. So I just want to recap what I heard right now. Because of the unexpected growth that you have with these new contracts, that you're just trying to keep your head above water. Staffing is definitely an issue. Not only finding the right people, but getting them up to speed very quickly, and making sure that the communication is there. And not knowing really what you don't know at this point. Was there anything that I missed? Okay. Well, first and foremost, I just want to let you know that your story is not unique. We hear this all the time from our prospects and clients that happen to be growing very quickly. Because really, business has changed. The landscape has really started to shift, and running the business has become a lot more challenging than it has in the past. So, and what we found, because of this paradigm shift, is that 80% of our companies that we deal with, they're spending their time on, I guess, tactical functions, and 20% of their time actually on strategic functions that are actually going to help grow the business. Which you'd find is crazy. How is any business going to grow at that point? But it's a very true story in most of our business today, and what they're struggling with. And why we're here today is how we can talk about actually shifting that paradigm. So I guess before I get started, I want to find out exactly how much you knew about ADP. Okay. Of course, everyone knows us as payroll, and yes, indeed, we are known as the industry leader, best-in-class technology, and have been doing that for 63 years. But what you might not know about us are some of the other components that have really helped these businesses with the paradigm shifts. While the technology is great, it's a great platform, and it's a great place to start. Like I said, our businesses are actually asking for a lot more, and it sounds like you need a little bit more help as well. Wouldn't you agree? So I guess in response to what our businesses were asking us for, 15 years ago we made an acquisition of a PEO, or a professional employer organization. You may know it as employee leasing. Have you ever been called on by our Total Source division? Okay. Well, great. So what the PEO actually is, it's a kind of a shared risk liability model meant to help give the infrastructure and expertise and support, and hopefully stabilize your operational costs. And how we do that, you come underneath our FEIN number, and you have the buying power for health benefits and workers' comp, and like I said, you have that support and expertise, and you kind of leave that heavy lifting to ADP. Now, while this is great, and it's a very popular product with a lot of our customers with the need, it really wasn't a model for every one of our companies for one reason or the other. So in response to that, 4 years ago, we actually came up with our BPO model because our customers were asking for it. While they did really like the PEO model, they didn't really like the risk shared liability component of it, or not all customers did. So in our business processing, what we actually did, we took the best of what we do, which is the world-class technology, and added on that layer that they loved through the PEO, which is the expertise and the support aspect of it. And what I think that, this is the area where I really like to kind of go down for you. It reminds me of a company that's been on this platform for about a year now. Reminds me very much of your organization. It's a company here in Miramar, Florida, called Sección Maria. They were growing at a rapid clip, just like yours, and they didn't have the infrastructure or the people in place to manage that growth. They were actually going to have to scale back. They were going to put their growth plans on hold for a year and actually deny some contracts because they were experiencing all type of issues, not only just getting the right people, but getting them trained and managing them. They were also concerned because they were moving into other states, and what if they had some type of mishap that would impact their brand name as they moved into these other states as an unknown vendor at this point. So what we did is we came in, we did an analysis, needs analysis, and kind of talked with them about the solution, and we presented the BPO solution. And right away, we are not only able to help them in all these areas, allowing them to focus on the business and go back into growth mode, but we were right off the bat able to save them $70,000 in overheads costs because they were not going to have to hire a recruiter or a benefit administrator. So what actually happened from that, they were able to resume their growth plans, accept new contracts, move into those new states, and really explode their net profit goals and eventually position themselves for their ultimate goal, which was an acquisition. What was great for their company and a company like yours is the solution that we're talking about is scalable. So as you grow, or if you ever have to downsize, the service and support aspect of it remains exactly the same without the overhead costs of hiring more people to support the organization. So what I'd like to do is actually set up a needs analysis with your team and kind of see if we can recreate the same model that we did with Sexion. How does that sound?